thank you so much for stopping by my channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Carrie. So in this video, I'm going to show you how I use baby food jars to make lovely candles, which I have sold actually and did pretty well selling them. So if you want to make a little side hustle, this would be perfect for you, especially if you have a baby and you have those baby food jars laying around. I'll show you what I did to make candles. Alright guys, so here are my baby jars. Now the very first thing I want to do is get the glue from the labels off the baby jars. This glue is actually a pretty resistant glue. It's a strong glue. So I've tried a couple things, but the thing that actually works the best is Goof Off. And how I do that, how I use Goof Off, is I let the baby jars saturate and sit in the Goof Off for a couple minutes, and then I'll go in with a cotton swab, and then I'll rub the glue off, and that seems to be the best trick. Anything else, I have a pretty hard time getting that glue off. This allows me to do it quickly without so much work. Find yourself some good gloves and a mask while you're working with Goof Off because it really is a strong substance. Alright guys, so the next step is to sterilize your baby jars. So this is a huge pot that I picked up from Walmart, I believe, and I was able to fit 36 baby jars in here. I'm so happy I'm able to get a lot done at once. So I'm just waiting now for the water to fill up, and once that probably gets up to like the brim, I'm going to put it on the stove and start warming up the water and sterilizing the baby jars. Alright, so now I have the burner set to a high heat setting. I'm going to let this pot sit here for a while. Once I hear it bubbling, that's when I know those candles are getting a really good cleaning. So this is exactly what I wait to see. Now I just took the temperature of the water and it's at 210 degrees, and I just looked up on Google how exactly high the water temperature has to be to sanitize jars, and it says it has to be at least 180 degrees, so we're doing good. So now that that's all finished, I'm just taking them out one by one, being really careful because the water's still hot and I'm impatient and I don't want to wait. I'm a busy mom and time is precious. And I have them over here drying. The next step is to wash the baby jars thoroughly with just soap and water, but this gets rid of any gunk or residue left over. And now they look crispy clean. So now my baby jars are all cleaned up and they're looking so much better. You can actually see through them, but all that grime came off no problem. So now that I have them upside down, I'm just gonna go ahead and put my warning labels on the bottom. I bought these right off of Amazon, so I'll leave the link in the description, but I'm gonna go ahead and do that now so I don't take the chance of forgetting later. Alright, so now that my baby jars all have their labels on them, they're good to go. The next thing for me to do is wick the baby jars. So the wick that I'm using is CD4 3-inch pre-tapped wicks. So for my candles, I use 464 golden soy wax, and on the Candle Science website, which is where I buy a lot of my candle making supplies, they have a chart that asks you for your vessel size, the type of wax that you're using, and it gives you a great starting point of which wick to purchase to try with that wax and that vessel. So for this, it suggested CD4, and I think it also suggested CD3. I can't remember, but both of them work very, very well. The CD4 and the CD3 work perfectly with the baby jars. And these, the CD4 are cut to 3 inches, which fits the baby jar perfectly. So I just have to snip a little bit off and we are golden. I would suggest you go to the Candle Science website in case you're using paraffin wax or beeswax or any other type of wax, because this wick works perfectly for my wax that I'm using, which is the 464 golden wax. So I don't want you to use another wax and then use CD4 and then it doesn't turn out to burn correctly. There's no hot throw. So this is the wick that works precisely for me with my wax. So go to Candle Science, put in your information, your vessel size, the wax you're using, and then you'll get a great estimate of which is the best wick for you. So you do have a couple options to get your wicks to stick to your vessels. So right here, I'm using wick stickers. I really like these. I purchased these off of Candle Science. These are the strongest hold, and they had almost 5-star rating on Candle Science, but a couple of the reviews I read said they had some issues with their wicks moving. I, however, never had that problem with my wicks moving. Not that I noticed anyway, and I always check them and make sure the wicks aren't moving. So me, personally, I've never had that problem. Since the baby jars are so small, it's pretty easy to eyeball where you need the wick to go to be in the center as well. Another option you have is RTV silicone glue. This is high temperature heat resistant glue, so I feel a little bit safer using this one. I purchased this from Home Depot, but I have seen it on Amazon, so I'll leave the link in the description below if you would like to go check it out. But this glue is also very easy to use. So it's been a couple days I haven't recorded, so I'm getting back to it today, and I would like to pour my candles, and I have all my scents picked out right here, so I'm going to go over them with you really quick. First one is White Currant. This is for my candle White Currant Bliss, a top seller. Next is Black Sea, one of my personal favorites. It reminds me of Moroccan oil. Cactus Flower and Jade, another beautiful floral scent. And Lemon Verbena, another popular one, as it smells lemony and floral, very fresh, beautiful scent. So the one that I'm going to be showing you in this video, I'm just going to do one of the scents. The first one I'll work with is the White Currant to make my White Currant Bliss candles. Hi guys, I hope you don't mind, but I have my little one right here, and I really wanted to go over what I did to measure out the fragrance oil to the wax. So it's a little loud now. What are you doing? Yay! Good job. All right, guys. So I'm gonna get into it. Sorry, it's just a little crazy here, as you can tell. So what I did was each candle is a 4 ounce candle, and I'm gonna be doing 11% fragrance oil. So you put a 1 point in front of the 11, and then I got 3.6 ounces of wax per container. So what I did was I took 3.6, I times it by 10 because there's 10 vessels. So I'm gonna need 36 ounces of wax for this pour. Now for the fragrance oil, I took 3.6, which is the wax I'm going to need for each vessel, times it by 0.11, and that is how much fragrance oil I'm gonna need for each candle. So I took 0.39 ounces and I times that by 10, and I got 3.9 ounces of fragrance oil for 10 candles. Another thing I wanted to mention really quick is Stanley Handcrafted. I can't get enough of these feet. Stanley Handcrafted made a great video on measuring out your fragrance oil and your wax. It's exactly what I did, but he breaks it down for you. So if you guys want to go check out that video, I'm going to leave the link to that video in my description for you guys. Say hi. Say hi. Say, that's my feet. My feet. Are you ready to make some candles? Are you ready? Let's do it. Let's do it. Now I have 36 ounces of wax melting using the double boiler method. So I have this on a very low to medium heat setting because I do use the Alex method. If you guys don't know what the Alex method is, I'll just run it over with you super quickly. So first I'm going to tell you guys why I like the Alex method and why I use it. It's because it I don't have any adhesion issues. It adheres very nicely to the glass. It looks nice and smooth, and it just looks perfect actually. So that's why I do use the Alex method. So how it works is I'm going to slowly warm up the wax, and I'm going to let it reach 150 degrees. But by the time it reaches 150 degrees, I want it fully melted. So that's why you keep it on a very low setting. So once it hits 150 degrees, I'm going to take it off the burner, and then I'm going to add my fragrance oil, and I'm going to stir it for 3 minutes. I like to stir for 3 minutes just to make sure it's really mixed in there good. But after that, I'm going to let it cool to 100 degrees, and then I'm going to pour it into my baby jars. All right, so that's just about where I want it to be. So I'm going to go ahead now and pour my fragrance oil in. I measured out 3.9 ounces. So there that goes. Now I'm going to stir it for 3 minutes. Now I like to stir nice and slow for 3 minutes, which I have on the clock there, on the timer. But I like to do it nice and slow, that way it doesn't create any bubbles. I heard it doesn't. I heard if you mix it too fast, it creates bubbles, so I just choose it to do it this way out of fear. I don't want any pesky bubbles. So now that I pour the fragrance oil, it's a little under 140 degrees. I'm going to wait till it's a little over 100 degrees, and then I'm going to do one last stir and then pour it into the baby jars. And now it's time for my favorite part. I love pouring the candles. There's something so satisfying about pouring after all that hard work. It seems like they're adhering so nicely. They look good. The tops I can see are caving a little bit, so I'm gonna have to go back in there with a hot gun, but those are really easy to fix, like 1 or 2 times with a hot gun, and we should be good. Another tip I wanted to share with you guys is that you want your candles to cool down as slow as possible. When I was a newbie, I used to let my candles cool down on my cold granite counter, and I used to run into so many issues like my tops would cave, adhesion issues, but then I started using a cutting board to let my candles cool down on, and that helped with the adhesion issues I was having as well as the caved in tops. Another trick you can try is putting your candles in a cardboard box to cool. You can also wrap a towel around the cardboard box. I heard that this has helped people create really nice smooth tops for their candles. If you guys are wondering where I got my wick holders, I got them off of Amazon. I'll leave the link in the description below so you guys can check them out. But these are great, and I've been using them ever since I started making candles, so I can't really compare them to anything else, except I've seen people use popsicle sticks, and they drill a hole through the middle of the popsicle stick and pull the wick through that way. So it's pretty much the same concept. It's nice that they have the ridges here, because then you can use them on multiple sizes of candle jars. Like, they work perfect for the baby jars as you see here, but they also work great for my 16-ounce candle jars as well. So here is the finished look, guys. I took a little bit of twine, wrapped it at the top to add some cottage charm, a little bit of personality, but I think these would make such a great party gift or a gift for any loved one. Great for the holidays. You can make them in batches and give them to all your friends and family. They smell wonderful, and I seriously have yet to meet someone who doesn't love candles. So all the materials that you'll need to make your own adorable candles will be listed in the description below. You guys can check them out. But I really hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for stopping by. God bless you so much, my friends. Take care. Have a lovely day.